All righty, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Discover Virginia Beach podcast, your go-to source for exploring everything that Virginia Beach has to offer, whether you're a local or a tourist. Our podcast, Discover Virginia Beach, aims to provide you with insights and experiences that will help make the most of your next trip or your next outing here in this beautiful area. In today's episode, we have a super sweet guest. From cakes to cotton candy, we dive into the journey of an imaginative baker. From intricate sugar shapes to cartoon characters, she turns a fun experiment into Virginia Beach's area must-visit sweet spot, serving joy at birthday parties, corporate events, and much more all throughout town. Let's explore and discover how this family-run haven is changing the dessert game. Monica, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
Monica, I am super excited to chat with you about your journey in the sweets game. Can you share with us your first memory of baking to kick off our conversation?
I've been baking since I was a kid. My mom has a passion for baking. In Colombia, I'm from Colombia, from Bogota. So we always bake together. When I was 9 years old, I started baking for my neighbor and the church and my family, and they start buying from me. And since then, it has been a passion. So then when I graduated from high school, I went to college in Colombia, and my dad retired from being a computer engineer. So I told him, let's have a bakery. Why don't we have a bakery and do all the goods that we know how to make? So he was in with the plan, and we started our own bakery. I was only 18. So meanwhile, I was going to college in Colombia. And then I had the opportunity to come to the United States as an international student. So my dad stayed with the bakery. He was really, really sad. We were doing really good too. I was really sad, but I wanted to learn English and see. I love to travel, so I wanted to see other parts of the world. So I came to the States. Here in the States, I went to Gaston Community College in Alabama, and then a year later, I moved to Birmingham to Jefferson State Community College, and then I was baking for people too. And I had other 2 part-time jobs, but my main business was baking for friends and the church again, the same thing, the same line. So then I met my husband, and after dating for about a year, we got married, and then he joined the Coast Guard. So that's how we got into the military. And since then, we started traveling all around the country. We've been in 8 different states, from Minnesota to Texas, now Virginia. We've been in a lot of places, and it has been a really good experience. We have loved it. It has been a lot of transition every time, like sadness to leave a good place. All of them have been good. But, like you make friends, and it is hard to leave the people you love. But now we are here in Virginia Beach. We got here last summer, and I was very excited about Virginia because Virginia is for lovers. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, I was pretty excited, and my sister lives in Roanoke, so I was really praying that we get Virginia. So I finally, after being 22 years away from her, I could reunite because we were together in Birmingham. So then my goal was, I have my Bachelor of Business Administration and Industrial Design in Colombia. So my goal was, when my husband was planning to retire, to start our own business. So that's what I started looking into, doing something real estate. I'm like, what am I gonna do? But I love baking too. I love sweets. So I don't know, I started developing the idea of like cotton candy, like watching TikTok videos. And I'm like, this would be really fun to do. And I wanted to bring something new in town and offer something different. So that's how I started looking into cotton candy. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Absolutely. I love that, Monica, and a lot of our listeners are visitors to the Virginia Beach area and on you know at no choice of their own. They're not yet locals yet. They're not in that season of life yet, but they do have that desire to move here. So I really appreciate you sharing your journey with us, because a lot of times we want to do something right away in our lives, but we have yet to hit those milestones or those markers that really prepare us for that next step. Would you mind expanding, Monica, on how your skills throughout the years of baking in Colombia and then in the US, how did you hone your skills as a baker? And through that development of your skills, what really enhanced your ability to then transition to, different dessert creations?
Well, I have always been a cake decorator. Actually, I work for Sam's Club. I've been with that company with Walmart and Sam's Club for 17 years, so I practice every day.
Oh wow. Okay. So you practice that, as I'm sure one of the jobs that you worked, as you mentioned before, you worked a couple different jobs in addition to the baking, correct?
Yes, but I have always worked for Sam's Club and Walmart. I've been in three different Sam's Clubs while we move, and three different Walmarts. And right now, I work at Walmart as a cake decorator, and that's my part-time job. And my full-time job is to, make cotton candy. So we, I'm sorry.
No, I love it. So when it comes to baking and then the cotton candy dessert making process, is there a distinct difference between the process, or are they kind of the same process with just a different result at the end?
Okay, well, I thought it was gonna be making a cake, baking, from baking to making the icing, prep everything. First, it's a lot of cleaning. It's, like the dough, baking is so much time consuming, and making the icing,
Yeah,
colors.
it's almost like a science in a way. You got to be very, very precise.
It is. So I love it. And my daughter that works with me too, she loves to bake, and she took that, from me. But I love to bake, but I wanted to do something different, like with sugar, which actually, like it's a little bit different process. But making cotton candy is not as easy as it seems. There is a lot of like cleaning involved on the machines, mixing the sugars, make sure like the humidity is right. So there is a lot involved. So it's just two different process, but like the end result, I like to make things pretty, like I do with my cakes and desserts. So like I wanted to something to show very pretty, different than being just a cotton candy cone.
Right, right. I love that. So it still allows you the ability to have that creative outlet while just having a different process. And seems like a completely different process from the cleaning of the machines and the cotton candy, because I mean everyone's seeing them at the carnival. They're spinning those wheels, and it seems like after every couple of pieces of candy served, they have to go and wipe down the machines. I understand and you mentioned this, your daughter works with you, and I understand your children work with you at the stand as well. The stand Sweet Arts, which is where you founded in 2022 when you came to the Virginia Beach area. Can you unpack the process a little bit with working with your family and the rewards, and possibly maybe touch on some of the challenges that come with that territory?
So one of the things that I wanted to do, that I wanted to leave as my legacy, is to teach my kids to be entrepreneur and to learn to have their own company, start, like that. They are young. My son is 15, Matthew, and my daughter is 18. She just graduated, Daniela. So I want for them to learn that there is another way. That I have worked for like a corporate, for about 20 years. And it provides the paycheck, but it kind of doesn't fulfill me. I have always wanted to do something there. So maybe they can explore their path. And if they want to work for a company, it will be okay with me, will be fine. whatever makes them so happy. But I want for them to learn that there is other ways, and maybe product development, and maybe they come up with a really good idea and they love actually to be with me and sell. And it can be challenging because, you know, like as a mom too, is like you have to repeat 1,000 times. No, okay. No, they are
yeah, right. You have to repeat yourself not only at home but also at the dessert stand as well, right? Which can be kind of taxing on any relationship where you're constantly reminding and teaching. But that's so wonderful that you are, you know, being very intentional with that process. I mean, as you mentioned before, and I'll just kind of take a step back with this. Your time in Colombia, it seems like part of your culture and the importance of your family was to be together and having those opportunities to really hone in on a certain task that you could bond over, that you could then pass to this next generation. As you mentioned before, you wanted to give your children that opportunity, and that's what we all want for our kids, right? We all want to give them more options and more opportunity to learn and be better people, right?
Yes, and also that they learn that no, everything is easy. You know, that like with the money they are making with this, they have to pay for some stuff, you know, like that, you know, their own stuff. And my daughter start paying her own college. And I think it's important to teach the kids that they have to give too, not just receive.
I
And
love that.
they are like I ask them, hey, like now, you know, I have like learned how to, like I write it down, how to tell them about it, write it down, and I say, hey, this is what I need. And if I repeat myself twice, I say, well, you're not gonna get paid because you are not doing this or that. But they procrastinate a little bit here at the house to prep the stuff and to load it. But then they are, I can always count on them. They come out at the farmers market. They are always really good. And at home, they procrastinate, but they do it. So I'm really lucky.
I love that. I love that. Sounds like you guys have a really healthy bond between the house and the dessert shop that really has a good balance of respect, but also of understanding that, hey, like I'm doing this to help preserve and educate you on how you can be pursuing this entrepreneurial journey as well. So I love that, Monica. With that said, I have one final question, and then I'd love to dive into the shop itself. That way, people can get to know a little bit more about your products and such. But before we do, I have a looming question, and it goes back to every challenge that entrepreneurs have when it comes to creativity versus this other element of just very, I would say, scholarly, very rigid and defined. And that's this idea of process. Because I know baking, like you said, it's very specific. It has very certain number of instructions. You can't tweak the recipe a little bit without changing the whole dynamic of the dessert. And it seems like in a lot of ways, business is like that as well. When you're running a business, you have to have a good eye on your numbers and your margins, but you also want to provide something that people enjoy and like without, stifling your creativity. So with that said, Monica, can you walk us through your process of balancing the entrepreneurial desire to have a prosperous business and also make, decent money and pay your employees, and then the other desire of wanting to create something really cool and really amazing, despite it not being, what you might have had in your head when you were looking at the numbers?
Yeah, well, this, what I have in my head is like, well, I still have it. I have a dream,
Yeah.
have a lot of birthday parties, and we are getting a lot of birthday parties on the weekends. And thank you for trusting us on bringing the party to you and to offer something special. As any business, it has a lot of challenges and it's a learning process. So I had changed like this like 4 times the way. I'm like, no, this is not working out. And bringing stuff at the farmers market, I really admire all the vendors because now that I am one, you guys really rock. It's like camping, going camping every weekend. It's like loading the car. Is so much involved behind the scenes. Like having a motor store It is awesome, but you have to pay rent. But
Right.
going to
It's a very, very mobile business, but you still have to pay the fee, the cost associated with moving, and then the cost of operating at the event itself, right?
so, but like, putting everything in the car. Actually, we use my daughter's car too. And generators, make sure that the gas is, like we have the gas, make sure that we bring all the stuff that the health department requires, the permits, bring change, like so many little details that we sometimes only know when we are there and we are like, oh no, we forgot this. So
Which happens, it happens to everyone. I love that you are able to because a lot of the guests on our podcast, they do have mobile businesses like yours, and without that attention to detail, I think it really can deplete the overall vibe of like when you're making the products and services. But in a lot of ways too, that detail oriented nature really helps thrive and grow your creative aspects as well, when it comes to your designs. And I love it. For those of you listening on the audio, check out the video on YouTube. But Monica has a few of her designs, which I'd love to get into next with you, Monica. When it comes to your products and services, can you tell us more about the products, the services that you offer, and what areas that you serve?
Well, our product is basically, the simple cotton candy. We are going to introduce, I'm working in introducing 2 other products, but that's a surprise. But our is cotton candy. So we sell cotton candy. We do fun shapes. And we have 6 character and seasonal characters that are coming for, like right now, for Halloween and for Christmas. So we just shape this cotton candy into like a snowman, or like for Halloween, we are working in a pumpkin. And right now we have our 6 characters that are like a car, a Siggy, Agnes, Fluffy, Luna, and a Snowball. So there is like a rabbit, a cat, a snow bear. This is like a Pikachu, and a minion, a girl and a boy. So, focus on like our, like kids and adults love it, but the kids can know.
It's so much fun. I'm curious. So, Monica, with the different colors, are the colors just food dyes, or do you actually get a different flavor and taste when you're trying the different parts?
Yeah, so we, my daughter is the one that specializes on mixing all the sugar. So we get our premium gourmet sugar, and then we use really good quality dyes, and from Lauren. It's a really good company. So all our dyes and flavors come from them, and we mix them. And it has been a trial and error to just, let's mix this, match this ratio, and then see if it works, how much how it tastes, until we have gotten the right consistency. But that has been a process to learn, a learning process.
Do you have to sample a lot of cotton candy for work, or do you just have your kids do that?
I bring it to work, and I like to my neighbors. I'm like, oh yeah, can you try this? What do you think about this?
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey, what do you think about that flavor? So we do our fun characters. We also do like tops, and we do little cups, and the classic snow, like the cone, the fluff. We do a big one and a small one. And right now I'm working on packages for like parties, like the favors.
Right.
So on our website soon, we're working on that. We, as our services, we offer, of course, we are at the farmers market every weekend, and we offer birthday parties. We do bridal showers, baby showers. We do church events, school fundraisers, pre-K parties, corporate events. So
you're doing it all. I mean, any event that you can think of. And for our listeners who are not local, when you say farmers market, you're referring to the Virginia Beach farmers market, correct?
Yes, we go to the farmers markets in Virginia Beach, in Fort Smith, Norfolk, and Chesapeake.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, and for our listeners who aren't familiar with the 757 or the Hampton Roads area, as I mentioned before, the Virginia Beach area covers 7 different cities, over 1 million people. And so, Monica, you're actually servicing. It sounds like four of those major cities. So not just Virginia Beach Farmers Market, but also the other cities you mentioned, which is phenomenal. It sounds like you get around. Do you do anything on the peninsula, or do you like to just stick to the south side?
For now, we just starting. So yeah, we are planning to expand that way. But of course, yeah, the more that we can cover would be great. And Hampton Roads, we cannot forget about Hampton Roads.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And so with that said, I'd love to know from you, Monica, throughout your journey of, figuring out, hey, I moved to Virginia Beach. This is possibly a good idea. And now, it is a good idea. Have you had any opportunity or maybe a desire to engage with the local community? And have there been any collaborations or partnerships that particularly stood out to you as something that is like, hey, I want to plug in here and really kind of pour my business into this certain area?
Well, all the locals have been really good to us, and we just started. We started on March, so we are just meeting people, like getting connections, and I love the people here. They are so friendly and nice, and they always get a smile when they get our cotton candy. So as networking, I'm working on that, and we are gonna, like marketing. We are working on our marketing to expand to the country clubs. Since we are military, to the military facilities to host events.
Absolutely.
And so we are just as a new, to Virginia Beach, we are working on networking with all the right people.
I love it. I love it. Well, Monica, thank you for sharing that. And of course, we do have some great people here in Virginia Beach. Shout out to the Virginia Beach locals, because that there would give us these opportunities like these to have wonderful conversations and highlight amazing businesses like yours. Monica, I would love to talk to you all day, but I know you got to get back to cleaning the machine, working on new exciting recipes for the fall and winter months. So with that said, we'll transition to our last segment, which is our rapid fire question. So I'll just ask you a quick question. All we need is a quick answer from you, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up from there. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. But I wanted to tell you that our next event will be this Saturday in Fort Smith, in the Old Town Farmers Market, and you can also find us at Virginia Beach, at that neck.
Absolutely. I love it. And just a friendly reminder to our listeners, all of Monica's information as well as her schedule will be in the comment section down below. That way you can go and check out her website, and then also check out the events that they have going on throughout the year. All righty. So with that said, Monica, first rapid fire question for you. What is your favorite dessert to eat and why?
Tiramisu, because it's soft. It has a little bit of liquor on it. It's just really light.
Love it. Love it. And question number 2, can you share a funny bakery or dessert mishap that when you think about it, you still laugh to this day?
Well, for my daughter's graduation, this past summer, when she graduated, actually she was the one that made the cake, because I've been busy with the cotton candy. So she made the cake, and she made the buttercream, and she served the cake, and the cake started melting, and she's just crying and crying, and I'm like, why? And I'm like, no, come on, let's fix it. And but she was just so sad. Her cake didn't turn out the way it was, supposed to be. But overall, we just laugh. I'm like, you laugh, I'm like, there are other reasons to cry about, not for buttercream.
Yeah.
It's just, it's funny that she cried about something like that. To me, it's really funny. And I'm like, how can you cry about that? Let's go and make a better buttercream. So, like, she put a lot of, she made it with butter. So it melts easily in hard weather. So
Gotcha. Her cake just started melting. Oh my goodness. Poor thing.
when she bakes, she makes amazing desserts, but the kitchen, it blows up.
It blows up. Yeah, I bet. So Monica, with that, I have our next question for us. For our home bakers out there with little kids, and are there any easy go-to desserts that you can make with children at home that you would recommend that people check out?
Yes, I always love, I would say cotton candy, but you do need a machine for that.
Well, for the cotton candy, they should come to you first, right? Aside from cotton candy, though.
Yes. Like the non-baked cookies, there are like peanut butter non-baked cookies and chocolate non-baked cookies that is made with oatmeal. I think those are so easy to make with kids. I did it with my kids all the time. And there is actually a really easy recipe if you like peanut butter. I love peanut butter. And it's like 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 egg. Actually, I put like 3/4 of sugar, and you mix that and you form it and then put it on the oven, and you have peanut butter cookies with 3 ingredients.
I love it. I love getting baking tips as well as highlighting a wonderful service. Monica, thank you. You continue to amaze us. So thank you for sharing that. Do you think there is an underrated fruit that pairs really well with desserts but doesn't get enough attention?
Well, since my favorite fruit is mango, I would say mango well with everything.
Mango with everything.
In the States, they don't use it as much, to pair with desserts. There's more like over here is like blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. But mango can be paired with a lot of stuff that, like you wouldn't think about. Like mango goes so well with heavy whipped cream and with any cake. Actually, mango is so fresh and good to eat.
Love it. Shout out to those mangoes. And then last question for you, Monica. If you were a dessert, which dessert would you be and why?
Well, I love anything like with flan.
With flan. Yeah.
A sponge desserts too, like with gelatin. That I would be like because they are like fluffy and cold and refreshing.
Love it. Well, Monica, thank you so much for this conversation. I really appreciate your time. And as we wrap up this sweet another episode of Discover Virginia Beach, I'd like to extend a virtual red carpet to you, Monica. This is your moment to share any exciting projects or products that you're currently working on that our listeners can go and follow along with you as you continue to work on those. Anything you want to shout out, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Well, first, big thank you to all our customers for trusting us, for coming out to see us, because there are people that just go to the farmers markets to get their fun characters for their kids. And as we continue to grow, we are going to expand our menu we are going to introduce 2 different items at the farmers market. And we are looking forward to host any event that you need. You can rely on us. We will always be there, and we'll make sure you have a sweet time.
Wonderful. Well, that brings us to another episode of Discover Virginia Beach. A big thank you to our wonderful guest, Monica, and of course to you, our dedicated listeners, for joining us on this journey. We hope you'll continue to explore Virginia Beach with us and look forward to sharing more and exciting discussions with you in future episodes. Thank you and take care.